What's up?
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Nervous?
Don't be nervous. No.
Yeah, because you're like famous.
No. I have no such thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you are. What does it feel like to be famous?
Uh, I don't know. I don't ever view myself as that whatsoever. It's fun though. It's fun though. It's fun. It's fun.
Okay, so for those few people who don't know who you are, please introduce us to yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jake. You guys probably have seen me as either Superman 14JF or Foggy Knight on social media. Um, and yeah, I'm honored to be on with you today.
No, I'm honored. So first things first, this is wasn't one of the questions I was planning on asking you, but you know your name is like kind of like a superhero name, right?
Is it?
Jake Fogg. That sounds like totally like something like Stanley wrote.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I've it has a nice flow to it. It's like James Bond. It's real quick, which is
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
and
so
it's
I'm
not
not.
Jacob, and it's not Jacob either. It's just Jake, so it flows. It flows. I'll take
That's
it.
so fun. Okay, so now getting back on track. How did you get started acting?
I did drama in school. So I was like this very weird mix of like a complete jock. Like I played football, basketball, baseball, like every sport under the sun. But I always liked movies and was like just when my friends they were like going to parties and stuff, like I wanted to go to the movies and study film and do that kind of thing. So yeah, I just always wanted to get into it and started with drama class in ninth grade, I believe, and it just kind of stemmed from there.
So how did you transition from acting to modeling to doing cosplay?
Um, yeah, so for me, like I started doing like the drama stuff, and then was fortunate enough when I got out of school, I think through sports, I had a couple people that I knew that basically a talent agency saw me and reached out and asked if I wanted to do any like I don't know if you have you remember like in the mall when it's like around homecoming and you see like people walk, like I kind of started with that, like doing tuxes and stuff, and I was like embarrassing but fun. And yeah, it just kind of started from there. And then obviously, like I signed with the agency down in Atlanta, um, and do modeling through that way. But then through cosplay, it was, I always wanted to use it more as a, uh, like yes, like dressing up as a superhero for like anybody who's like a nerd is like a dream. But for me, it was like, I, through sports, I did a lot of like want to do stuff for kids and do charity events and do like just give back in some form of fashion. And I was like, well, when I was a kid, like granted a person's cool, but like if like Batman or Superman walked through the door, like that's like that wins all day long. So I was like, I can do like 100 times more as a character than as me. And then I started at a horrible time because I literally started cosplaying like right when COVID happened. So like I couldn't do any of that stuff. So I had to find like other forms of doing it, whether it was like doing videos or, I found a cool organization called Operation Birthday Rescue where they have like basically like a dashboard, and it'll be like, such and such age 9, like it's their birthday or like they're sick or whatever, like into this character, and this character, and you can just like make a video and send it to them. So I did a bunch of those, but like now that the world's kind of going back to normal, like starting to do like actual like volunteer work and charity events, which is really fun. But that's kind of why I got started, and it just kind of took off once I got into the like the photo shoots and stuff.
So I like to ask people, what is COVID like present tense where you are?
It's not bad. It's funny because for anyone who like knows me, they like make fun that like especially because I started as Superman. Like I basically have like a Clark Kent life. I live on a farm, so uh, I can't even see anybody within like out my front door. So it actually never really affected me at all. Like the whole process, other than not being able to go places, it was. life was kind of normal for me, minus being able to go to the gym or you know, some of the few places I could go. But yeah, that was it. It's weird, and now it's a lot. It seems everything back to normal. Like for the most part, like you still see, you know, some people with masks, but like the stores are packed. Went and saw Black Widow a couple weeks ago, and the movies were packed, which was really really
Did
nice.
you like it?
Yeah, I did. I did. I did quite enjoy it. It wasn't like super high on my radar because I didn't need a Black Widow movie. But I was
Yeah.
glad that she got, you know, her moment in the sun, and it was good. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I love the sister. I feel like all the cosplayers are going to do like the Yelena cosplay now, that because she kind of
Of
stole
course.
the show. She stole the show.
So how did you go from 150 pounds to having Superman's body?
A lot of work. No, it's actually funny. So I was um I wasn't where I am now, but I was a little more muscular for a while, and I had my appendix ruptured. So that's how I got down to 150 because I lost everything because I went through like a whole medical ordeal and I couldn't work out for a long time, and it's like your
Oh,
stomach, so like I couldn't eat a lot and got really skinny. But basically, you know, I ate a lot of food. It was fun at first because you could eat kind of like anything because when you're like literally look like you could fly away in the wind, like it didn't matter what you eat. But, you know, I mean, I do stay pretty regimented. I mean, I work out an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. I eat a lot of food and eat pretty clean. I don't like drink or do anything like that really. So it, it's a boring answer, but it's, you know, and that's kind of where my sports background helped because playing football and doing stuff like that, like you had to strength train and do kind of things. So I was pretty knowledgeable going into it of what I needed to do. And like I'm a bigger guy as it is. I'm like, you know, 6'3" and have the frame. It just I needed to put in the work and and stick to a diet to be able to put the weight on. So for me at first it was just a lot of powerlifting. I did a lot of like what Henry Cavill did for Superman, a lot of like what trying to like see different regiments that celebrities did. Granted, usually what you see online isn't 100% accurate to what they do, but like you get kind of an idea of like what Chris Hemsworth did for Thor, what Henry Cavill did for Superman, and then kind of work from there. And then just having like a, you know, I tell people, you know, it takes 2, 3, 4 months before you see anything, and then once you kind of get over that hump, it just takes off. So yeah, I put on like 80 pounds. It was a lot. 75
wow.
pounds, yeah.
So what's your most expensive cosplay?
Oh God, probably the Batman suit. Just because there's so many pieces to it. You know, it's not. You know, even with Superman, it's like you got the suit and the cape. That's it. Yeah, Batman is like you
Yeah.
got the suit and then you got the cape, and then you got the belt, and then you got the gauntlets, and then you got the gloves, and then you got the cowl. It's just like it adds up one after another, after another, after another, and then you know, with the I don't have it yet, but the Batflex suit that's being made for me currently, then I'm doing like the Nightmare version on top of the just the Batman suit. So then you have all that plus the Nightmare coat, plus the goggles, plus the scarf and the pants, and yeah, that definitely that one.
Do you think that price matters when it comes to having a good cosplay? If that phrasing makes sense.
Um, yes and no. It really depends on what you're gonna use it for. Like, my like if you go on my page and you see my Green Lantern or my black suit Superman, both of those costumes were $40, really low end.
Really?
Yeah, $40. ProCosplay.com makes awesome Zentai suits, and if you're depending on your frame, like a Zentai suit might work for you because it's, you know, it's basically just a bodysuit and it's very form fitting, and they paint it properly to help kind of exaggerate your muscles and stuff. But you know, if you're just doing photo shoots, like especially in a studio, like those are great because like with the right lighting and stuff like that, like you can make it look very high end. Now, uh, and they're very comfortable and cool, especially when like you get in like the high end suits. They're not comfy at all. But you know, when you get to like a con or like you're going out, when it's like, you know, when you're right and you can see the suit up close. The high end suits, you can tell a difference. You know what I mean? It's just the little details and you know, it's like you get what you pay for. But you know, if you just want to do photo shoots and stuff, you know, I would check out somewhere like procosplay.com or sim cosplay or, you know, any of those. They have some great stuff. But I think the important thing is just um living within your means. You know what I mean? Like just making sure you have a budget. You know, don't go crazy and splurge. Like I saved for a long time before I, you know, got any of my stuff, and like I mean like months, and kind of had a game plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Um, so yeah, but they're all amazing. And I've seen the people who build their own suits. Like I see Superman Fit just joined his Arkham Knight. He built it himself. Like it's unbelievable. And I give it to the people who can make their own stuff because I definitely cannot.
Oh no. Okay, so who is the best Superman
Oh
actor?
gosh. I feel like for everybody, it's they have like their own nostalgic towards Superman. So, you know, for people that are a little older than me, they're introduced as it's probably Christopher Reeve. Whereas for me, it's probably Henry. I think the thing that's cool about Superman is there hasn't been a single bad one. Like they've all been amazing in some
Oh.
capacity. Like I thought all of them have done a good job. I actually think that Brandon Routh could have been the best had his script been better. Like he,
Mhm.
to me, looks like Superman, like what I would envision Superman looking like. Unfortunately, like his script was, you know, Superman. It's not a bad movie, but it's not action packed. It's not Man of Steel. But for me, like Henry is just like he's goals. Like he just has, you know, the whole package of the looks and the personality, and you know, he just portrays both sides of Clark and Superman very, very well, I thought. And then, you know, I'm a huge fan of Zack Snyder, so that movie to me is so underrated, and they did a phenomenal job, and it's relevant to like modern, you know, modern times.
Who's the best Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah. My see, my favorite is Toby because that's what I grew up with as a kid. My Who I think is the best is actually Andrew Garfield. I think he did the blend because with Spider-Man I grew up watching the animated series as a kid, and he's humorous and he's, you know, he has a great sense of humor. I thought Andrew tapped into that the best. And then the only reason I think he over Toby is he looked younger, like he looked like you know, a high school college kid, which I think is about where Spider-Man is. And you know, I think Tom does a great job, but all his films have been like he's dependent on someone else. You know, it's always been like, oh, I need Iron Man, or like it's like he didn't need that. Like Spider-Man's awesome on his own. So therefore, I think he's been a little handicapped. But Andrew Garfield would be probably my choice for that.
Zach. Oh my God. Like you phrase is like I'm gonna I'm gonna like reuse every word, one of those words whenever I have this conversation with someone in real life. Well no, this is real life too. Like you know what I mean.
Of course.
But who's the best Batman?
Ben Affleck, 100,000,000,000%.
What?
100
Why
million.
would you say that?
Yes.
Okay, why do you say that?
Um. So okay. So this is where I get like controversial with most people. Like um, I, I don't. Me personally, like I'm not a fan of Michael Keaton as Batman at all. Not because of his acting or the way he plays him, but like I look at when I think of Batman, really what makes him special is, yeah, like yes, he's a great detective, and like yes, he's, you know, brooding, but like at the end of the day, the dude has to be able to just beat anybody like to a pulp, like anybody. Michael
Yeah.
Keaton's 5'9", 160 pounds soaking wet. Like let's be honest, like he just, to me he just doesn't have the look. Like he's not what I think of when I see Batman. Like I I just don't see it at all.
Yeah.
He acts it great, but Ben is the first one I think that has the presence of Batman where like if you saw him in an alley, you'd be like, "Oh crap!" Like I'm done, you know, because he's a massive guy. Um, I thought that the way, especially in Batman versus Superman, the way he tapped into the tormented personality that he's really, you know, he's not at peace at all with himself. Like he really, you know, he's not he's not all there. You know what I mean? And you can tell
Mm-hmm.
it's just like he's right there from snapping. And I love that he played that. And then also he played the Bruce Wayne part really well, which is even more important to me than playing Batman because Batman is who Bruce Wayne really is, and Bruce Wayne is the character. So
Yeah.
I thought he played that split, you know, that character really, really well. So for him, just you know, and he looks exactly like the uh the animated series Batman, which is, you know, my personal favorite. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy is like always going to be like my Batman, and I get to meet him this Saturday and get a picture with him in the bat suits at GaxCon Raleigh. So I'm really, really excited about that.
What?
Yeah,
How cool. So so are you hopeful for Robert Pattinson's Batman movie?
yeah, yeah. He's going to be fantastic.
Really?
Um, I, uh, I mean, I totally get a lot of people that you know, might only know him from Twilight or some of, you know, because or Harry Potter when he was younger, and like, yeah, he again, like looks wise, I don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like the emo look they gave him, especially as Bruce, but acting wise, like that dude brings it. Like I saw a
Yeah.
movie called Good Times. It's on Netflix, I believe, and I mean, he can play dark. He can play like he is one of the most talented actors I think that's out there. So I think what they're going to do is completely different. I think it's going to be really, really dark, like really, really dark. And I think that in that way he's going to play it really, really well. And I think they're going more for not like Chris Nolan's movies in a sense of I think they're going to try and make it feel really real and not comic booky, if that makes sense. But I think it's going to be great.
So speaking of Twilight, kind of,
Oh, God.
and and Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia. What do you think are the ingredients to make a legendary epic story?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think Lord of the Rings did it the best because I think that's their like Star Wars is the most iconic and like I love Star Wars like so much, but like Lord of the Rings I think is like probably that trilogy is probably the best trilogy that I've seen made. Just because every single one is so just on. Like it's not like one of those where it's like, oh, that one's the best, then that one and that one. Like they're all just like amazing. But I think it's
Mm-hmm.
a taking you into a world that you can, even though you know it's not real, that you believe is real, and it just completely captures. And I think being able to relate, even though it's like fantasy and you know something that again isn't real, but like they make it feel real, and you can connect to the story and you can connect to the characters, and they do a good job of you know sometimes you know, movies are so dependent on like the world kind of bringing you in, as far as like, you know, the effects or like, you know, oh my God, like, did you see how crazy that looks visually? And like, yeah, like visually it looks phenomenal, but the storyline lacks. And I think the core to any good movie, whether it's tiny or like a massive blockbuster, is you have to get the story right first. If you got to get the characters on something that people can connect with, and then you know start there, and then you can work on building your world. And I think because like Lord of the Rings shot in New Zealand, they didn't do like green screen like you did with even the Hobbit trilogy. It's all real, but they focused on the story being good first, and then you're like, oh, like that's such a beautiful location, or like, oh, that's so cool, such a cool battle. But like they started with the core story, and I think that's the key to all of it.
True, that makes sense. I never really thought of that. How long have you been playing golf?
Probably like 4 years. I got into it. I can't play football or any of those sports anymore. Like my knees and my back suck. So yeah, I picked up
Oh.
golf and yeah, I got hooked. It's relaxing. It's fun. It takes up majority of the day, and you can play by yourself. You can play with with friends, and like you meet a lot of cool people. It's really fun, and it's really challenging. It's like the like with football or basketball, like to some degree you have some form of natural talent or because of
Mhm.
athleticism or you're fast or you jump high or whatever it might be. Golf, that doesn't help you at all, like at all, and it's like super challenging. And instead of like I'm an ultra competitive person, so like if we're playing basketball, like I'm playing you, whereas when you play golf, like you're playing more the course, you're playing yourself. So I find like I'm less competitive with other people that I'm playing with when I'm playing golf. So yeah, it's fun.
And then you said you live on a farm.
hmm
So you have a horse?
There's horses, there's donkeys, there's
There's
some
donkeys?
yeah, miniature donkeys. There's some goats. There's a brewery, a winery next door.
What?
Cool. I don't own that. I don't own any of that. Some chickens, and then my dog, which is the favorite. So there you go.
That's so cool.
It's very cool.
So how long? So like, how do you? This sounds like such a stupid question because like I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
So like, how do you like ride a horse?
Um. Well, you have to find a good temperamented horse first off, because not all of them can be ridden. But like you just get on the saddle and you just hold on for dear life and you start slow.
Oh
I wish there was an easier way to say it, but like yeah.
no! So we have a question. What do you think about the new Flash movie leaks?
Oh yeah, it's always good to see Batfleck coming back. That makes me super excited. Um, it's funny with set pieces because like people will like down a costume or be like, that looks. I'm like, it's not even going to look remotely like that when it gets in like post, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome. To me to see. I think what makes it exciting is like seeing, regardless of how they use Michael Keaton, like they're gonna. It looks like both of Ben and Michael will be used a lot more than we originally thought they were going to be used, which is
Mm.
cool. So I'm really excited for that movie. I do think it's going to kind of reset how they're going to use the Snyderverse going forward, which sucks because like I want a Batfleck movie and I want Man of Steel 2 and I want all those things. But I think they're going to use it in a way to kind of reset the dials on everything, but it'll be good. I'm really excited for that film.
Was there only one Man of Steel?
Yes.
That's interesting. I don't. Wow. Why
Yeah.
did they only make one and then go immediately into the Justice League? That's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So. Let's get a little deep. So. So Prometheus gave fire to man, right?
hmm
Fire is good and bad, right? So blank person gave us the internet. Then blank person gave us social media. How can we play with fire safely?
Right. I think remembering the human element within social media. I think, I've seen it, especially with cosplay, like you see a lot of, people that get bashed or like, you get a lot of luckily I haven't gone through this much, but like, people get negative comments or, people are just flat out rude or, it's easy to give an opinion on something when you're hiding behind a screen. But I think just remembering the human element behind it and just being kind to people is kind of the lost or, the key to the people, to the good people that are out there. They, are supportive and kind and, they don't just use it as this like, you know, hiding behind a screen, but they keep the human aspect to it. I think that's the key to everything.
Mm,
Like it's still a person
true.
on the other end.
So there was a study recently um well, you know this as a human being, like you know that girls are really mean to each other, like
Yeah,
like boys, like you, like it's true, like
yeah,
guys, like
you're
you
no
guys beat
love.
each other up, like but you guys are like homeboys the next day.
Yeah.
Girls, like we like use words to hurt each other.
Mhm.
Um, so why do you think that social media is equally, or is it comparative? Do you think social media is rougher for girls than it is for boys?
Oh, um, probably. I say it with probably. Yeah, I think because uh, girls not only get the like the hate from like you said, like sometimes they can be, get caught up in like drama between, but also like, I've got friends that are cosplayers that are, very attractive people, and like God knows what they're getting like in DMs and some of the comments that they get, and it's just and granted, like I've gotten some weird ones too, and but I would never even dare to even say I get the same amount that some of my friends that are girls get.
Is it girls that you're getting DMs from, or from guys?
Both, I think, over time, and I think it's not
Really?
everybody. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, and they're not all weird or bad. I mean, there's some flattering ones and stuff, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
think the amount that you get as a guy compared to like some of my friends that are girls, not even comparable. So yeah, in that way it is, because some of them are in relationships or married, or like they have small kids, or like there's kids that look up to them and like follow them on profile, and then like they see these comments, is like, it's not cool, you know what I mean? Like, and I get it.
Yeah.
There's a way to compliment somebody without being like, okay, like that's a little, like, come on, man, like you don't gotta say all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What?
It's just like, I don't
I
know.
don't.
People like think that they're gonna get like a positive response. Like that person's gonna be like, oh, I've been waiting for that compliment. Like like, yes, I will totally do that. Like, come on, guys, you know?
You're very logical. You're very rational.
Yeah, I try and just, yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to look at it from like, clear perspective and just call it what it is. It's but
You're very you're very smart for an athlete.
oh,
No,
thank
okay.
you.
No, that sounds so bad. No,
No,
okay.
it's cool. Yeah, I've been hitting the head a few times. It's cool. It's cool.
No.
Yeah, no,
That's,
I just think that you just call it, and I think for me, what I've done with like the weird or like the meat is like you just kind of like twist it into like make it funny. You know what I mean? So like people say whatever to me, like I don't like, I just think it's hilarious when people get like all worked up over. So I'm like, like why? You know what I mean? And like, or like people's like, wow, like some people just they have way bigger stones than I got. I'm like, I would never in a million years. I could think somebody's like the best or like most attractive or like the cool. I would never have the like cojones to like say some of the things that some people say, but it's
oh,
you just gotta roll
sorry.
with it and laugh.
Okay, so where can we like you, stalk you, follow you, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, you can stalk me on on Instagram. Obviously, it's where probably find me the most. Foggy Night 14. TikTok, same thing. Vero Superman 14 JF, because I do not know how to change my Instagram or my handle there. And then Twitter. But yeah, you can DM me anytime. Leave me a comment. I love chatting with people and meeting people from all over the world, and that's kind of the coolest thing about cosplay is, I got people in different countries and states, and that I talk to every single day and that I wouldn't know otherwise. So I would definitely say, hit me up.
And then last question, then I'm gonna let you go. So Princess Tiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I play her for birthday parties sometimes.
Hey.
And sometimes I don't like doing it. And I feel so privileged saying that I don't like doing it sometimes. So is it normal to fall out of love with your passion?
Yeah, I think. I've had things in my life that I was very into for a point in time, and then fell out of interest with it. Um, I think when you stop doing it for you, that's when you start losing the passion. I think that I found that even with like cosplay, like there for a while, when I was doing Superman, like I just wanted to do another character because I was like, I'm just over. Like I felt like I was getting, and granted it was flattering, but like being asked to do this video and do that video and do this picture and do this, and I'm like, I stopped doing like what I wanted to do with it, and it just kind of fall, and then it's like, okay, like I'm getting, you just kind of lose interest because it's, yeah, I think you got to do it for you, you know what I mean? At the end, and that's like some of the stuff, like even characters I do, like I know, might not get the interest of Batman or the amount of love that that character gets, but like I love that character, so like cool, like I'm gonna do that because I like it, and you do it for you know what I mean? And then I think even when you're doing stuff for other people, like like I said, I've done like the charity stuff, and uh, there's certain days you're just like I do not feel like doing this, like the makeup and
Yeah,
getting the suit, and like you're tired.
yeah,
But I think just finding reasons, personal reasons for yourself where you want to do it, I think the passion comes out naturally when you're enthusiastic about what you're doing. And, if you're not feeling that, then don't do it. Like I know it's very cut and dry, but like if I would rather like when someone sees me or if they met me being like in the zone, like I'm in the character, and like when I'm passionate about it and in it, like I know like I'm bringing it. Whereas if I'm like, ugh, like I don't know, like I don't like. Grant, I can still like do the like I'm sure like you can still do the character, but
yeah,
it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like you don't. It's like maybe you're giving a A- performance or a B plus instead of like giving someone like because that's what it is. I mean, when they want to meet the princess, you know what I mean? Like when the few minutes you get with, even at the Comic Cons, like a quick picture with the kids, like you're not, like I'm not Jake, like they are seeing Batman, like that you're them, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you have to have uh with events and stuff like that, like you really you're responsible for delivering the giving people the experience of who that person is. You know what I mean? And when it's someone like, you know, a princess or like, for you, like, Princess Anna or, Frozen or, completely like a Star Wars character, like to that kid or whoever it might be, like you have to really bring it, and give them, because they might remember that and that might spark their interest for that character going forward. And if you don't bring it and or you're just like man, like then they might be like, oh, like Batman sucks, like I'm gonna, I don't want to ruin that for somebody. So
yeah.
yeah, I think that kind of all ties into passion. But I think like for me, like I said, like I got into it to do stuff like that, so just remembering that helps me. But just do it for you, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for your time, Jake.
of
This was
course.
so enriching and encouraging,
Oh,
actually.
good. No, this was fun. Anytime.
Thank you.
The princess
You have
stuff.
a fantastic,
We need to
you
go
have a
out.
fantastic day.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.